Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is in great health and having an amazing day. Today I'm jumping on the camera because I just wanted to give you guys a recap of my last week of how everything went on my new job. As some of you may know, or for those of you who do not know, I started a new job on January 6th. The first week they had me do orientation and go into our main office to complete my training. As of this past Monday, I started in my office where I will be working permanently. So on Monday, the day went by perfectly. No issues, no problems. The staff was very nice. The workflow was excellent. Being that I've worked in this institution before, working on the computer system was not a problem. So I was very easily able to just fall in line, with the culture that they have and how their practice functions. I was able to meet my manager, who is very, very cool. And I always say that this is such a small world. With that being said, when I did work for this institution, I would often come to this particular practice, this particular health park where this practice is located, because we had an office which was upstairs. So I would often hear people say that I have a sister that works there. So turns out that this is the young lady that they were speaking of. So I just, we and her was talking about that, had a little giggle off of that. And that's how I came to the conclusion that this is a very small world. But other than that, Monday went very, very smooth. So for those of you who know, I do live in Georgia, and I do know that they were predicting snow in different states. However, I underestimated because I didn't think Georgia was going to be that bad. So on Tuesday, we had a weather alert that it was going to snow. They did not say that the accumulation was going to be as much, but they did say that we would be getting some snow and that it would be starting later in the day. Now, mind you, I work like 45 minutes away. That's without traffic. So being that they said that it would start later in the day, I decided to just go to work, since they said that we would be able to leave early anyway. But let me start doing these dishes while I'm speaking to you guys. So I went in around 2 o'clock. No, I'll say about 1:30 when I went to lunch. I heard, people saying that it was starting to snow, but it was just snow flurries, wet snow. So I'm like, okay, so, I'll go back to the office to get an update on when they were going to be letting us out. So my manager did come to me and told me that I can leave because she knew that I lived far, and she knew that I was going to have some difficulties getting home, because of the Georgia traffic. Those who know, Georgia is known for so much traffic, and they say that people here do not know how to drive. So with that being said, being that it was very, very light and I could not really see it because I have a huge window to the outside of my office, it was just wet snow. So I thought I had some time. So I ended up leaving the office at about 4 o'clock. Now, 4 o'clock versus me getting off at 5 is a huge difference. So on my way to work that morning, I didn't notice that there were a lot of cars on the road. So I'm assuming that a lot of people stayed home because their children were home. Or the majority of schools in Georgia was closed. So on my way home, it was pretty smooth in the area where I was working. Now, there was like a cutoff point where they were predicting the snow. My area happens to be within that cutoff point of having, some accumulation of snow. So with that being said, as I am leaving the health park where I work, it's wet snow. It's not bad at all. So by the time I get to 285 here in Georgia, it picks up a little bit. So now I'm noticing that the traffic is slowing down. Now, mind you, it's like about 4:45 at this time. So by the time I get through to 285 to get to my highway that would lead me home, now it's about 5:30. So now it's dark and it's getting colder. So I'm sitting there and we're going about two miles per hour I'm trying to figure out why we're driving so slow because I'm not seeing, like any accidents or anything. Um, there wasn't much snow on the ground at this time, so I'm trying to figure out why the traffic is backing up so much. So now, as time goes on, now it's getting dark. So now it's dark. The temperature has dropped. Now the street is nothing but a sheet of ice. And I'm telling you, pure ice. Also, Georgia knew that this snow was coming. They claimed that they were prepared. On the news, they were showing all the trucks that they had with salt, with sand. They said that they were going to be prepared. They were even warning the drivers that when you get out on the road, please give our trucks space and time, to get around, to do what they need to do, to make sure all of our Jordans are safe. Boom. So with that being said, that's also another reason why I went to work, because they said that they were going to be treating the roads. So I'm sitting there. Now it's 6 o'clock. We're moving slow, very slow. 6:30, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Now we're starting to move a little bit. So now I'm noticing, now this is on Tuesday. So now I'm noticing as the traffic is inching up, when we get to a certain point on the highway, the traffic stops and there's a truck in front of me. So the truck stops. The two gentlemen jump out of the truck. What happened was there must have been like two cars must have slid into each other, but not like a hard slide, but the cars did separate. So one slid to the right, the other slid to the left. So I'm in the far left lane and this white truck is in front of me. So those gentlemen jump out of the truck to go try to assist the guy that's slid off the left lane because he's stuck. Being that the roads are so slick, he's trying to pull back onto the highway, but every time he tries to go forward, he's slowing back. He's falling back. He tried it like about 2 or 3 times. So I guess the guys in the truck felt that they weren't able to help him. So while they're in the process of doing this, I'm behind them. There's millions of cars behind me. So I'm trying to go around the truck. So now when I try to go around the truck, now I'm noticing my car is sliding. So as I'm trying to go forward, I'm sliding back. I try to go forward again. I'm sliding back. Cars are behind me honking. Why? I don't know. But each time I try, and I'm not hitting the gas hard, but every time I try to go, I'm losing the car. So then some people started going around me. I did my little prayer. I said, God, please help me take the wheel. And that is exactly what happened. So I was finally able to get from behind the truck. But as I was like inching up, the guys in the truck started to move. So I just slid back a little bit and just straightened up the car and kept going straight. So now I'm a little nervous and I'm a little panicky because now I know like, oh shoot, this is really ice now. I've never experienced ice when I was in New York. They always treated the streets, so there was never any problems. They also had snow plows where they would come and remove like the slush or the snow, and then they would put the treatment on the ground. So I'm driving ever so slowly. So now as I'm driving, I'm seeing cars, they're just sliding across the highway and spinning, and everybody's going every which way. So I'm like, oh my God, please let me make it home. So I'm driving and I'm driving and I'm driving. I'm doing okay. I'm going 2 miles per minute. I'm not going any faster. So then as I get a little closer, to the highway that I'm supposed to be on, to get home. Now, mind you, my son is stuck at work. He's calling me because he's worried about me. And I'm also trying to get to him as well because a lot of his coworkers are telling him, he might as well stay because some of them had tried to leave and ended up messing up their cars or either, sliding down the road and things of that nature. They're telling him that it's not safe. But my son is like me. There's nothing like the comfort of home. Now, if it's an absolute emergency, he would have had no problem staying. But back to the story. So as I'm driving, I'm noticing that the car is like sliding a little bit. So then I slow down a little more, almost like to a complete stop. So I continue on my way. We get off the highway. Now we're on the streets, which is like 3 minutes away from my house. So we're driving. Everybody's driving very, very slow. I'm seeing a fire truck. I'm seeing police cars, and they really can't do anything because they're in the same situation as us. So I'm wondering why the car in front of me, he keeps swerving. But I'm looking at him. He's the only one swerving. The car in front of him is not swerving. He's just swerving. So I'm driving slow. So I'm kind of nervous because I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this man. I don't see anything going on in front of him. The cars in front of him are going straight, just driving very slow. So let me just move from behind him and go into the middle lane. Well, as I'm trying to go into the middle lane, my car slides. And I'm like, oh my God. Now there's a cop car behind me. I know he can't do anything, So as I get in there now, I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my God. I pulled my brake up. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not, but that's just the first thing that came to mind. So I just pulled my brake up and I just let my hand sit on the wheel. I didn't do anything. So then once it came to a stop, then I tried to maneuver the car. Hold on, guys. Let me just get my stuff for my coffee. All right. So as I get into the center lane and I'm somewhat stable, a young lady rides by me and asks if I was okay, which I was. But I was very, very nervous because, as I said, I have never, ever, ever experienced such a thing. So I'm riding and I'm riding and I'm riding. Mind you, I am 3 minutes away from my house and maybe like 5-6 minutes away from my son's job. So, excuse me, guys, I dropped my cup. So I'm just driving ever so slow. Everybody is driving slow, no problems. Thanks be to God, I make it to his job. On the way back home, it is ice. When I say ice, I mean ice, guys. Hold on. So now, by this time, it's like 9:30, a quarter to 10. Now, mind you, I left my job at 4 o'clock. It is now about a quarter to 10. So we're driving on the road. It's not much traffic out there. There's maybe like 5 or 6 cars on the road. We're all driving so slow. So as we approach one of the subdivisions, that car is trying to turn in, which means he would have to cross me to get into his subdivision. So I stopped because I don't want to proceed to drive and then have to stop, but then I can't stop because there's ice and I don't want to slide into this individual. So I'm noticing as he's trying to make the turn, he can't make the turn because he keeps sliding backwards. So he tried this a couple of times. So I'm saying to myself, since he's trying to turn and he's having a hard time, let me just go ahead and go straight. Why did my car? I almost lost control of my car. When I tell you the fear of God was in me, thank God my son was in the car. My son is very calm, very, very, very calm. So he was just talking me through it. He's like, Mom, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. It's going to be okay. I have never felt, it's like, I don't know how to describe it other than, when you're driving and you're going to turn, you feel the weight of the wheel, as you're turning. So as I'm trying to maneuver the car, it's like I'm turning the wheel, but I'm feeling nothing. So it's like the wheels of the car is not gripping the street because of the ice. So now I'm really panicking and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And I have my son in the car with me. Now I'm seeing cars coming towards us. So my son quickly opens the window and drives and puts his arm out to have the drivers slow down. So thank God they did slow down and they started going around me. So once the gentleman who was trying to turn into the street, you know, to get into his subdivision, I'm assuming, he saw me struggling, so he just stops. So then I finally was able to get a hold to the car, and we just proceeded down, and I ended up making it into the house at about a little after 10. At that point, I said, I've had enough of Georgia. I don't want to be here anymore. I could not understand or comprehend why there was no treatment on the street when Georgia was bragging that they were prepared, you know, ready for this, because they've experienced this a ways back when some people got stuck on, I think, 285 overnight. Children were stuck in school, you know, and things of that nature. So I was kind of angry because I'm like, you're telling people that they're prepared, but we're risking our lives out here. I'm telling you, I thought I was done. So that's Tuesday. We made it home safe and sound. Once again, I left the job at 4. I didn't get home until after 10. Wednesday, you know, of course, Tuesday night, you know, it's freezing because we went down to like the low 20s, 19s, something like that. So the ice froze. I knew that there was no way on God's green earth I was going to go back into work on that Wednesday because I was too terrified. I didn't want to experience that, you know, again. So I just stayed home on Wednesday. So Wednesday, you know, the sun came out. Most of the ice pretty much dissolved, so it wasn't too much of a problem anymore. So I just went on into work on Thursday with no problem. There were a couple of ice patches, but nothing that we could not handle on the road. Friday, you know, was a pretty good and decent day. It was nice, sunny. It wasn't warm, but it warmed up enough for the liquid that was on the ground to not freeze overnight. So other than that, everything went well, you know. It took me no time to get home because the schools were out. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people stayed home with their children. So they did not have to deal with that. So that was pretty much how my week went. And I never, ever want to experience that again. I was like so terrified. And when I tell you I made that by the grace of God and God had his hand on the wheel, I truly and firmly believe that. So that's how my week went. Give me one moment. Let me just get a spoon for my sugar. So that is how my week went, and it just made me mentally drained this week. So I really didn't do too much. On Saturday, my son, we went out to get the emission test, which is something that they require for the cars out here in Georgia. I don't know how many other states require that. I know that they don't in New York. So I added him to my insurance. We got the emission test. So now one day this week when he gets off, either when he gets off work or one of the days that he has off, he's going to go to the tag office and get his registration for the car, and then he'll be ready to hit the road. We do have a few little repairs that he needs to do to the car, which is not a problem, but then he is, you know, officially ready to be on the road. So that's basically what my week was like. Right now, I'm not doing anything for today, but just sitting around and relaxing. Right now, I am having my breakfast. As you can see, I made myself some coffee. I have a banana here that I'm going to have since I'm still on my health journey. I'm really hoping to lose a couple of pounds and get myself to better health before my birthday, which is in June. For my son, right now I'm thawing out a pack of bacon. I'm going to make him a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and then that'll be it for the day, and just get ready for the next day. So thank you guys for tuning in again. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I am looking forward to seeing you guys in my next video. For those of you who are new, my name is Vanessa, and the name of my channel is Lifestyle with Vanessa Stevens. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're almost at 3,000 watch hours, guys. Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative. The goal is 4,000 watch hours. And once again, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you guys in the next video.